It is Saturday, September 9th, 2023. And as the season winds down, I'm out here taking a look at my garden and just kind of observing some things I need to water, um, what is still living. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Good morning. My hollyhock decided to flower late in the season. As you see, the leaves are they special. You can't see either watermelon from here real well, but there are two back there in that lovely mess. Kind of like the fact that that sunflower is shielding them. Then this is the surprise one that just popped up last week. And look how big it is. Put my hand down there for a size reference. Do you see how big that is? It grew up really quick. Then there is that Bradford that is still filling out. The tendril hasn't even started to drown in. So estimated date for that is October. But if you come from this direction, there is this one here that might get pulled today. And that one right there. And then my comfrey that got turned out by watermelon weeds. And that's that side. These lovely Tabasco peppers are taking a while to turn. And again, they need to be watered. Blackberries, my Tulsi that thinks it's supposed to seed everywhere. There is a little sugar baby under there. There's one further over in there under some leaves. There's a couple along the outside of the bed. This pepper plant hasn't fruited to save its life. Don't know if it's going to fruit before the end of the season. Not really caring. My elderberry that doesn't know what it wants to do. My fish pepper is starting to show flowers, so that's great. I've been harvesting some of my okra. And then these lovely large sunflowers that still, that one started to head, but this one right here, I don't see a head yet. It could be starting to form up there, but I'm so short it don't make no sense. Cucumbers that are fizzling out, and the squirrels keep stealing the cucumbers off of, which is fine, I guess. More Tulsi. I hope that in those buckets I'm going to get some fruit trees in there. I had two Meyer lemons, but they did not make it. Sweet potatoes are sweet potatoing. So we'll see how that turns out. And then this comfrey over here, I keep having to cut it back because it infringes on the driveway. It doesn't know that it's not supposed to do that. So it just does what it wants to do. My sister-in-law's plants that are as tall as me and some taller. And of course, my namesake, zinnias. I joked, my $4 Aldi's aloe that was in a 2-inch pot that once I put them in the bigger pot, they went crazy. The little pepper plant that was in here was trying to fruit, and the basil is saying, not today. We let this sunflower still do its thing. I gotta cut that limb off of it. You see, this one is very healthy, but that one there, the older one, is not. Yeah, I just enjoy coming through here and just looking at the, the diversity. My ground cherry plant is dying, but it set out so many pods the next year. Under the elderberry, there will be plenty of ground cherries. Um, but it's great. It's great. I had a FedEx delivery not too long ago. It's always funny when they come and they look around and they realize that there are actually plants. Oh, my husband told me this yesterday. I did not see this one. There is another melon formed up under there that I had no clue was there. Yep. I've had people tell me, I never thought about that when I had my patio garden, things like that. Um, just because I don't have a huge yard does not mean I can't grow. And while I'm thinking about it, let me take you guys back here. Because a lot of people, they see just this front yard most majority of the time. And don't judge me. My husband is a carpet cleaner, so you know how that goes. And a collector. So this is his favorite collection right here. This is his Big Brutus and all of his grills and stuff. We're Kansas Cityans. You can't be Kansas City without having barbecue. This menage a trois of mess is my backyard. But this here is my compost pile. And this is where all my soil is made. And as you can see, I have pumpkin that decided it was going to root back here. I don't know what variety it is, can't tell you, but we're going to let it do what it do. If it wants to grow, I don't even water back here. But as you see, it's living its best life. It's expanded all the way over there. And then my blackberries that I have in totes back here. My issue with back here, and there's some sweet potatoes in there as well, is that we have these lovely trees. Do you see that whole tree cover? And that tree right there that decided it was going to grow the length of our whole back area. So I can't grow a lot back here. So like I have sweet potatoes slips that were some sweet potatoes we threw into the compost, and they started to create slips, so I stuck them in the ground to see what was going to happen. um, I do a lot of experimenting. So this bed back here, um, everything in that bed comes from the leaves, the branches. I mean, it's literally just pure compost, and that compost is walnut compost, because this big old lovely tree right here is black walnut, and that one right there. And I have this thing about being told what can and can't happen um, in nature. So I was told you can't use black walnut to compost. And see, like this comfrey here, because it's so close to where my husband and my son get ready to go to their jobs, it gets beat up, but it keeps on ticking. And this is great fodder for my compost when I run out of greens and stuff to put in there, or it's not breaking down. So that's the reason why I got that from Billy from Permapastor's farm. I bought some other comfrey, and it did not, it produced the one by the fence, and I had 25 pieces, but that was the only one out of 25 pieces that came up, which was oddly enough, and these are Billy from Permapastor's farm. Um, but it was oddly enough that that was the only one that came up. So I let it do what it do over there. It actually usually gets bigger than that, but again, because of the watermelon vines, I guess it decided this year ain't that year. But I use that in my compost because it's a natural accumulator, one. But two, it helps speed the breakdown of it. I tried to do the comfrey tea. Um, my stomach can't handle that smell, so we're not doing that no more. That smell like somebody died and just started rotting. So yeah, we're not doing that no more. But it's great in my compost, and it keeps, like I had fish heads that I put in there last week. It keeps the neighborhood cats out of my compost because I put the comfrey down, put the fish heads in there, put some more comfrey on top of it before I put some. I buy wood pellets because I don't get enough brown material to put in there right now until after October. Then I'll have plenty from all of the trees because unfortunately I'm in a historic area and they love their trees, um, and they fall in my driveway. So you get creative and you do what you do, but I love the fact that people go, oh, you can do this. Took out the whole front yard, just took it out. Wasn't very big anyway, you know. Went on Amazon, bought some cloth, took it out. Now next year, things I will do different. I am going to pull up, once we take out these melon plants, I am going to pull up the weed fabric and um, amend it with the compost, some biochar, some rock dust, um, and have my local CCC come in, and they do tilling for you. So I want them to till that because unfortunately we have clay soil. And even though I was able to grow some melons, I lost quite a few of them. We had a lot of blossom end rot, and I know it's because that this is clay soil. It holds water in a different way. My husband, um, we were in a drought for quite a while, and the temperatures were above 100 for 2, 3 weeks in a row. And he was like, "Oh, we need to water more because it's not enough water out there." And I'm like, "I have the wheat fabric down. It's the ground is shaded, so, and plus we don't get the same amount of direct sun as we could get because of the neighbor's fence being paneled, and then also the tree in the other yard kind of blocks the sun. So it's not like the sun is beating down on the soil to pull out that moisture. Um, but I think that tilling it will, one, incorporate more of that nutrition into the soil. I just did it at the planting site when I put the seeds out this year, but next year I want to have it fully tilled with good nutrition embedded all throughout the soil. And then I'm thinking that I want to add some pumice stone to also help with the drainage. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how my compost comes out this year. It usually comes out pretty good. Um, and we'll go from there. Happy gardening.